Hi guys, welcome back to Girl Therapy. I'm your host, Nicole. Thank you so much for coming back another week, even though I abandoned you last week. I'm so sorry. I missed you guys. Basically what happened was I did record an episode, but I didn't really have a plan. Like I didn't have a topic that I specifically felt drawn to talk about. And then I was like, well, let me just talk because I feel like I'm going through it right now, which I was. Last week I was in a weird headspace. And I was like, well, this is relatable. I'm in a funk, and I don't know why, and I'm just gonna talk about it. And I was just very emotional. I was getting my period too. Also, I need a new mic because I feel like this mic every week's causing me problems. So that's besides the point. But yeah, I recorded this episode and I literally cried in it, and I'm like, they don't need to hear this. Because there was no reason for it. And I think it's yes, I want to share my life with you. And yes, I want you girls to know, it's normal to be going through it. It's normal to not always be happy and always, my yoga instructor said this today. He was it's okay to have emotions. It's okay to not always be happy because that's just life. You don't always have to be the happy person. You don't always have to show up that way. As long as you majority are like that, I am. I'm a happy person overall, and I have my weeks or I have my days. But I was they're not coming here to listen to me cry about nothing. You know what I mean? And I don't know, something just I recorded it and I was you know what? I don't really want to share that. I don't know. I was just I want to get through this myself and talk about it when I'm on the other end. So I'm on the other end. I literally was just looking at it too because I was maybe I should have released it. But I literally titled it IDK. That's it was I don't know. It was all over the place. So that's why I didn't talk to you guys last week, just because I was just I didn't feel that was constructive. I didn't feel it was just me yapping for about whatever. So yeah, just know we go through it, I go through it, we all go through it together. I do have my days, my weeks, and that's what makes me a human. So, and that's what makes me able to give you guys advice, is the fact that I do go through it. I don't have all the answers. I don't certainly know everything, but I've experienced life, and I've grown a lot, and I just share that experience with you, and that's why I'm here. But I just finished my Pilates teacher training. I think that's also why I was in a weird headspace last week, just because when I'm thrown off my routine, when I can't go for my walks, when I can't do my yoga practice, when I'm not cooking, when my apartment's a mess, when I'm not seeing my friends, when my schedule is just in disarray, I feel that way internally, and I don't know what to do with myself. And then I think life happens on top of that. And I think last week, the last 2 weeks was that, where it was I wasn't going outside a lot because I was in this Pilates teacher training, and that's all I was doing. I didn't get to go for my walks. I didn't get to go for my practice. My body hurts, my head hurts. I'm not drinking enough water. I'm in a confined space for 7 hours, 8 hours at a time for 6 days. It gets to you a little bit. So I won't do well in solitary confinement, that's for sure. And yeah, but I finished that, came out the other end. Everything's good. I passed my certificate. I am a certified certified Pilates instructor. Does that mean I'm going to teach Pilates? I don't know. And we'll kind of talk about that today. I am just doing a Q&A today. So I had you guys ask me some questions on Instagram, and we're just going to go through that. But those are pretty much my updates. It's I didn't do anything else for the last 2 weeks except get my Pilates certification. So yeah, I'm Pilates certified, and that's pretty much the only update I have for you guys. Let me open up Instagram, see what you guys asked me, because I think there are some questions about Pilates and yoga in there. So let me just get into those while we're here and talking about it. So the first question is, would you recommend getting certified in yoga first before becoming certified in Pilates? Just FYI, this whole episode won't be about yoga or Pilates. We're just going to start there because I do have a few questions about that. You guys asked me a whole range of questions about life, about dating, about mental health, about eating, all the stuff. So we're going to cover a lot of bases today, but I'm going to try to group it up for you. So I would say there's no right or wrong way to do it, and it depends what Pilates certification you are getting. If you are getting, I did a quick intensive program. I only did my mat Pilates certification. I don't have any will right now or want to teach reformer Pilates. So the certification for a mat Pilates is a lot shorter than that one, the comprehensive one for that, because that's a lot. That's like another, I think that is a 200-hour or 300-hour program. If you are going into getting a Pilates certification and you've never had a certification before, I don't recommend doing an accelerated 50-hour one where you're just getting your mat Pilates. I do recommend that you do a long training that is like 200 or 300 hours and really specialize in one thing. I love that I did my yoga one before because, like I said, it was longer. It was a 200-hour program, and I learned how to be a teacher in that one, and it was more, there was more time. It wasn't as fast paced. This one, it's like you are learning just the Pilates movements, and then you're doing your test out and you're learning a little bit about the history and all the stuff about that, but in a very fast paced environment. So if I were to only have gotten that, I would have, one, been really frazzled and stressed, and two, you don't really learn how to be a teacher as much. You get 2 or 3 opportunities to teach your class, and that's pretty much it. And then you're just set off in the wild and to go off on your own and kind of get your own experience and practice. When I did my 200-hour yoga certification, we were teaching every week and we were getting feedback and learning how to adjust people, learning different variations of yoga, learning how to stretch people out, learning we had philosophy every week. Like, it was more information and it was more drawn out, obviously, and I was able to get deeper into the knowledge and the practice and how to teach. Like, that yoga certification that I took really taught me how to be a teacher, and I was finding my voice along the way. Afterwards, when I started teaching, like, now I'm such a different yoga instructor than I was when I first graduated. I continue to grow and learn, but I had a really good base of knowledge for yoga and like how to teach. And I had a lot more a time to build confidence in that teacher training because it was so much longer than this one. I felt confident like going into the world and teaching right after that yoga teacher training. Also because I've been doing yoga longer than I have been doing Pilates. I think like whatever certification that you do, make sure you take a lot of classes in that and like make sure you really love that thing. I mean, you don't have to be like obsessed with it, but it's like, make sure you do your research. Like, don't just, people are like, who do you get the certification through? Who should I do it through? You need to find a studio or an instructor who you really, really like and resonate with and want to teach like. I chose Johanna because I take her classes. Yes, I'm her friend, but like, I also really respect her, the way that she handles her business and the way that she teaches Pilates. She teaches real classical Pilates, which is what I wanted. I wanted a really good base of real Pilates. I don't want the bullshit sculpt. I don't want the hit, this, that. Like, what I learned during this training is that like I truly didn't know what Pilates was until now. So I wasn't learning so much of like new things. Yes, some new movements, but I was really learning like, oh, so this is Pilates, this isn't Pilates, this is, proper form, this isn't. But like, we only had the first 3 days to learn form, the movements, and then the next weekend was just us teaching our test out. So it wasn't like a lot of time to really develop, if that makes sense. It would be super overwhelming with no background at all. So whatever training you are doing, if it's Pilates or it's yoga and you've never had one before, I say one, make sure that you've taken a ton of Pilates classes or a ton of yoga classes. Like, make sure that you've done that, because it's going to be really overwhelming if everything's new to you. And then pick one and do a longer program for the first one. I think do a 200-hour yoga or 200-hour Pilates or 300-hour Pilates, whatever it is. I think Pilates might be a little bit longer. And then run with that. Once you have like one certification under your belt, I think you can do like a shorter program to add on to that to do continued learning. Like, this was just a 50-hour program. I don't really have to learn how to be a teacher. Like, I'm already kind of teaching sculpt. Like, I'm already teaching yoga Pilates, and I've already taken a lot of Pilates classes. So it wasn't that intense of like, this is all new to me. I need to study this, that. No, it wasn't like that. It was like, okay, this is confirming like things that I know, things that I don't know. Okay, this is correcting my form. This is something that I thought I knew, but like I really didn't. And now I know how to teach it. Now I know how to cue it. Like that's what this really was about for me. So yeah, yoga and Pilates though are so different. So it's not like, oh, you need to have this one to have this one. No, I think like they're both going to be new, you know, like I'm comfortable as a teacher, but am I comfortable as a teacher teaching Pilates? Not as much, because I'm a yoga teacher. So it's not like having my yoga certification helped me so much in teaching Pilates, if that makes sense. Like it just helped me in the sense where it's like I'm comfortable in the space of like being a teacher, but it's not like, oh, I needed to like have my yoga certification to like understand how to do this for Pilates, and vice versa, because they're so different. If anything, it hurts you a little bit because I have to unlearn some things for yoga for Pilates, like the breath and everything like that. So pick one and go with it, but I think do a longer program. Somebody asked me about like my yoga journey and like where I got certified. I think I talked about this in an episode a while back when I was just getting my yoga certification, and I've posted a ton of videos on it. So if you want to like really see my journey, you can just scroll back a little bit. It was back in October, I think. October, November, December. Yeah, it was like those months, because I started teaching like the end of December when I graduated. Again, like I got mine through Mimi's just because like I was going to Mimi's every single day. I really enjoyed the studio and I enjoyed the teachers there. So I decided to get certified there because I trusted them. So wherever you're getting your certification, do it through a place that you enjoy, that you like going to, that you like the instructors, and ask like some of your favorite instructors, like, where did you get certified? Because that's kind of like the base of their practice. You have to do your own research. Everybody wants something different. Do I recommend Johanna's certification? Of course, because she's my friend. She's awesome. She's badass. But like, is she everybody's cup of tea? No. So I would hate to be like, yeah, you have to get it through her. Like, yeah, you'll get a good certification, but everybody's experience and like if you enjoy the process will be different. If you enjoy like the personalities and the crowd that she's gonna attract, it's gonna be different. So go through a place that you like to enjoy, and I do recommend doing it at a place that you can be there in person. People travel for certifications and make a little vacation out of it, especially if it's only like a 50-hour where it's 2 weekends. We had one girl was from Paris and like she came. I love that. Because I do recommend doing it in person. Some people do it online, which, you know, there's some places where like you just don't have access to a studio that does a certification. So like I understand you have to, but if you can find a place and do it in person, I highly recommend doing it in person because it is such a different experience than when you are just doing it online. And I think doing it online is harder. You're obviously not there. You're not forming. Half of it is like building the bonds and the connections. I couldn't tell you the name of one person. Well, actually, we had one onliner for our yoga certification, but she really had to go out of her way to be involved. And she was on every single Zoom. Like we saw her in the classroom. And then when she could come in, she would come in. But there were probably like 8 or 9 people who were like onliners. I could only name one of them. And I wouldn't say like I got as close with her either though. Like you get close with the people who are like you see every single day and who are in it with you. So I recommend that's my one thing is like try to do it at a place where you can like be there physically. If you can. Better though to like get a certification than not though. So if like that's not possible, then do it online. But just like you really have to make an effort to be involved and really like delve into it and be present. Somebody said, what's the hardest part about being a yoga and now a Pilates teacher in your opinion? The hardest part, what is the hardest part? I would say right now, conserving my energy and like knowing, I think like when I first got certified, it's super exciting. And like all these studios like offering me to like come teach and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you want to say yes to everything. And I think like learning to say no and like where you want to put your energy is super important. I think the other thing that's really difficult is when you're having a bad day and you have to go teach. Like I had a day last week where it was like, really bad day. Like I got hit with something that I was like, damn, and like I just wanted to cry, but I was like, I had to teach in 3 hours. Like I don't have time to do that. So I think having to compartmentalize your emotions and teaching is hard. When you're having a bad day, you have to fake it. You have to go in there and still put on a smile and still teach a good class. Like you can't bring your shit to the studio and you can't talk about what's going on to the students. Like, you just can't. I think there's some yoga instructors who do that, and they go in and they want to share a little dharma or something at the beginning of their class, and they're talking about their life or things going on. You're just like, what the hell are you saying? Like, what do you mean? Like, you know, and it's like, you can't bring that to class with you. You can't. The point is that it's a safe space for everybody, and everybody's coming into the yoga studio and has something going on. This isn't your time to have a little TED talk. This isn't your time to release, you know, what you have to release onto your students, or to release, you know, whatever's going on with you to your students. This isn't like your therapy session, you know? So having to like go in and just be like, I'm going to put that stuff aside for the hour, and it doesn't matter. And I'm here to be a safe space for everybody else and to create good energy for everybody else. That's probably one of the hardest things just that I've recently experienced, because I hadn't really had a day where I had a really bad day. There's days where I'm like, oh, like, I don't really feel like teaching today, but then I get to the studio and I'm like, oh, okay, like, I'm good now, you know? But like on a day where it's like, okay, something like really, you know, is really disturbing me, having to put that aside and teach and give a good class to is hard. It's hard. So yeah, other than that though, like, being an instructor fills me with so much joy. I love it. I think, again, one of the hardest things for me right now is like, everybody wants me, and not just studios, but my students are like, I want you to teach more. Like, I wish you were teaching here. I wish you were teaching at this time. And can you add another? And like, I love that. Like, I love that you guys love my classes, but it's also like, I, you know, need to make sure that I'm taking care of myself and like the things that I want to do. I can't just say yes to everything. And that's hard, because it's like, I wish I could teach every single one of you. Like, I wish I could be available all the time. I wish I could have the energy to do that, but I need to, you know, live for me. I need to do the things that make me happy. And I think right now I'm just kind of figuring out like how often I want to teach, where I really want to teach, what's worth it to me, because it's a lot of energy. It's not just the hour that I'm teaching the class. It's the, you know, the hour that I have to prepare before the class, and then it's the driving to the class, you know, so it's a lot. It's not just, you know, oh, I show up and I teach. There's a lot more that goes into that. So will you start teaching mat Pilates at Mimi Winwood? They need more Pilates class slots, and you're fired. I love that. I don't know. Like, I think that, and I'll just talk about this briefly, doing my Pilates certification has made me realize how much I actually truly love yoga and resonate with yoga. And I don't know if I want to teach Pilates. You know, just because I can doesn't mean that you always have to. And I think that I don't know if it resonates so much with me. Like, yoga just really clicked for me. And maybe I just haven't done as much Pilates where it clicked as easily for me in teaching, because I've probably only been doing Pilates for about a year now. But I've been doing yoga for like 4 or 5. So I don't know if it's just because I'm not good at it that I don't like it as much, or if it's I just genuinely don't like it as much, you know? So I'm going to start teaching. I already teach a yoga Lattes, which is really, it's kind of just turned into like a sculpt class at Libre on Friday mornings. I've been doing that for a while, and I love that class. And then I am starting to teach a sculpt class at Break Free. And I'm going to do it for a little bit just to see just to get the practice, you know, and then see if I like come into it and actually really start to enjoy it. But I'm like, sometimes you have to do things to figure out that you don't like them, or you don't want to do them, or to make you realize how much you really do love the other thing. Like how the rain makes you realize we love the sun, or it makes you grateful for the good days. It's like doing the Pilates has kind of made me realize, like, wait, maybe that's not for me, you know? Like, I thought that's kind of like what I wanted to do, but now it's made me actually feel closer to yoga, because for whatever reason. So I think, like, I don't know. I think I don't want to overwhelm myself and have to jump into teaching Pilates right away. I do have that sculpt class at Break Free and the one at Libre. So if you're in the area, definitely take that. You guys are my guinea pigs. I'm so sorry. Somebody said that they're doing yoga teacher training this summer. I'm so happy. Someone said I inspired their Pilates journey. That also makes me so happy. Someone said, how do you get over the nerves of teaching? I always get so nervous before teaching class. So I think nervous is good. Like, it just shows that you care. I used to also get super nervous. Wait, my camera's like slightly tilted. There we go. I used to, and I still do, but not as much. As you teach more, you get more confident, you get more comfortable, and that's it. There's no quick trick to like feeling less nervous. I think the more prepared you are, the less nervous you can be, you know, because then you're not worried about like, oh, if I mess this up or this or that. Like, it's like, you know, your shit. Like, the more that you know, the less nervous you'll be. I have gotten less and less nervous. Like, I used to like prepare my classes like days before. Now I prepare my class like an hour before, and I don't even really run it through. I just kind of like do a little flow in my head. I'm like, oh yeah, that'll work. And then every single time, every week, I'm getting like not less and less prepared, but less and less like, I'm getting more confident in like how to teach. And I'm like, I can almost go into the class with having no flow prepared and just kind of see where it takes me. A lot of my friends and teacher friends who have been teaching for a while, they don't have to prepare a flow before class, which amazes me. And I'm excited to be finally getting to that point. But it takes time, and it takes confidence. It takes just knowing your craft. You have to take a ton of classes, keep studying, keep being a student, and keep showing up and keep putting yourself in uncomfortable situations to gain the confidence. What I do to make me less nervous is I don't over practice. I don't overthink it. I go in and I have it on my phone sometimes. Like, if I write my flow, I'll have it in there just in case, so I like know where to take them if I lose my train of thought. But for the most part, I go in and I try to just like feel out the vibe and the energy of the people. At the end of the day, they're just people. They're just there to flow and have a good time. And they don't really know when you mess up. And when you do, it's not that serious, right? Like, it's just a yoga class. No one's thinking like, oh my God, she forgot the half moon on the right side. Like, no one's thinking that later in the day. And if they are, they need more stuff going on in their lives. I go in and I make eye contact with every single one of my students. I say hi to them. I talk to them. A lot of them have become my friends now. So that's nice, because it's just kind of like I'm teaching my friends. They know me. They know my style. They know what they're getting. Like, so I'm not so nervous about like the type of instructor I am or who, if they're going to like me, because like they keep coming back. So I know that they do. And I just like, if you talk to them, make eye contact with them, you humanize them. And then the moments where you mess up, make a joke, like humanize yourself too. I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm sorry, it's like a rough day. Like, it doesn't have to be a big deal, or don't say anything at all. But I think just don't be so serious. Don't put so much pressure on it, because think about when you go to a class. Like, when I go to a class, even the best instructors mess up or miss something sometimes, or can't get a word out. Sometimes I mix up my left and rights, or I'm like, what's the name of this pose? I'm like, guys, I don't even remember the name of this pose. Like, I'm just like, it happens, and people understand that. Like, no one's crucifying you for that. And when one of my instructors messes up, I'm just like, I don't think about it. I'm just like, yeah, like, that's like, most of the time I just like go there anyways, because I knew where I was going. And then I'm like, they're like, oh, I forgot that. And like, I'm not thinking about when my instructors mess up, or I'm not thinking in my head like, oh, what an idiot. It's just like, it happens. So I think I don't think you'll ever really get over the nerves. I think you'll get more and more comfortable and confident, and that just takes time and showing up and doing it and putting yourself in, uncomfortable positions. Every time I'm in a position where I'm really nervous, or this is like, hard or difficult, like even teaching Pilates this past weekend, like it was hard. It was different for me. I gained confidence by doing it, and then I'll just continue to get better the more that I do it, which will make me less nervous. It's just the better I am at something, the less nervous I am to do it. Someone said, how can I get into yoga? I can't seem to get my mind to calm itself. You just go. Whenever somebody asks me like, how do I start yoga? How do I get into it? The answer is always just to go. There's no like preparation. There's no secret tips. The answer is to show up and to do your best. Be present, and that's it. Like, you go into class and that's it. There's no preparation. There's no really beginner classes. I guess on YouTube, maybe you could search up beginner yoga, but I say just throw yourself in the fire every time, and you learn as you go. Everybody's on a different journey. Everybody's journey looks different. Everybody wants different things from yoga. Everybody gains something different from each class. One person could go out of the class being like, oh, I got this out of that class. And one person gets something completely different out of the class. One person is doing progressions, the other person's not. Like, that's okay. We're all doing something different, and like no one's judging you. So there's no like, this is the steps to get into yoga. The step to get into yoga is to do it. And it doesn't mean you have to be doing like all the craziest poses. It just means you have to show up and try and keep going. Just keep going. All right. So I think that's enough of like the yoga and Pilates talk. That was like a half hour for that. Oh my God. Some other things. Okay. Someone said, just got dumped at 30 after 2 years. How to meet someone new. I hate apps. Okay. This is actually something that I want to talk about because I was off the dating apps. Well, I've always had Raya. I kind of like will randomly check it, but recently I decided to download a Hinge again after 2 years of not having it because like my friends had been using it and like they're always like on dates and I'm like, okay, like no one really like goes on, like I've gone on one date from someone from Raya and it did not end well. It was Orlando man. Nobody on Raya really like, I don't know, meets and like DMs. It's just it's odd. But Hinge, I feel like people are more active. Like my friends are always going to Hinge. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to like get back on Hinge just to like try, because I'm going in with a whole new perspective. I'm going in with a whole new me. I'm going in with new intentions. I used to be on Hinge just like, fuck around and share my Hinge dating stories and, whatever. My early TikTok days. I don't have to explain it. Anyways, but I was like, now maybe I'll go into Hinge with like a whole new image, like a whole new light, a whole new set of eyes, a whole new set of attentions, and maybe it'll put somebody in my path who I wouldn't have met regardless, because I haven't been going out that much. March was like my going out month. I've been a hermit since then, so I'm like, if I'm not gonna be going out there and putting myself out there physically, I can't complain about not finding somebody because that's my own doing. So I might as well get on the apps and see what's going on there. So I re-downloaded Hinge. So I would just say, if you hate the apps, think about like, do you hate the apps because they seem tedious or you don't want to use them? Like, if you hate the apps, that's okay, but you need to be putting yourself out there then in other ways, because you're not going to find somebody if you're just sitting at home. You're not just going to find somebody like, I hate the apps, so that means that someone just has to be placed in my lap. Like, if you hate the apps, you have to be putting yourself in other situations to meet people, whether it's doing work from coffee shops, whether it's going to a gym and going out and I don't know, going to events, going to places, like putting yourself in places where you want to meet people. That's up to you. I don't know your life. I don't know you, but you got to put yourself out there. And like when you see somebody that you like or you see something that you like, look approachable, be approachable. Maybe you approach. I'm not totally against that either. If there's somebody who like you want to say hi to, you feel drawn to, approach them. I'm not saying throw yourself at them, but like say, hey, like I'm so-and-so, introduce yourself, make yourself approachable, let it be known like you're interested. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's only something wrong with that when you keep making yourself known that you're interested and somebody's clearly not interested in you. Then it's like, okay, let's get the hint. But yeah, if you hate dating apps, the only way you're going to meet people new is by like putting yourself out there. Like, I'm going on a walk today at 5:30. Why? Because everybody goes for a run after work around the key, and maybe I'll meet somebody. Like, I'm actively making a choice to not go at like a time at like 3:00 where it's random. But you never know. I could go at 3 and meet somebody too. But it's like I'm making my chances better by going somewhere where I know people go at a time that's like after work, where I know like a lot of people are running around. If you go to a coffee shop, set up shop, maybe don't have your headphones in, maybe smile at people. If someone looks, cute, smile at them. If you're at a workout class, somebody's cute next to you, say, oh, hi, I like I don't know, talk to people, but like you have to put yourself in spaces. You have to, maybe you see somebody on Instagram. It's like, okay, maybe you do slide into his DMs. I slid into somebody's DMs because like, he wasn't going to notice me if I didn't. So I did, not because of like, he's not giving me attention, but because like, how would he know that I'm interested in him when I found him? You know what I mean? So it's like, sometimes you have to do that. If you're not going to put yourself on the dating apps, you need to make sure that you're putting yourself out there in other ways. And yeah, but I think like Try the dating apps though. Like, if they work for some people. If you don't want to though, don't. And I will say, like, I tried the Hinge thing. I was really trying, and I don't like the way that I operate when I'm on Hinge, because it kind of puts me in this like panicky scarcity mindset where I'm just like, I like OD on it sometimes. I'm just like bored. So I'm like, let me log into Hinge and like scroll. And it's like, that's not healthy. And that's why I deleted it, because it puts me in this like weird thing where I'm just like, like these are my choices, And I'm like, I don't want to feel that way. Like, so I'm going to delete it again because I'm just kind of like, it's consuming. It's a lot and it's overwhelming. And I don't like having so many choices of like, I don't like the idea of like matching with somebody and then for what? For us not to even talk? Like, I don't know. I've talked to like 2 people and I'm just like, I don't see this going anywhere. It's like, what am I doing? I'm putting my energy elsewhere, and like, I'd rather go meet somebody in the wild. So yeah, that's been my journey with the dating. So I feel you with the, I don't like dating apps, but at least like, give it a try. And if you're not going to use dating apps, make sure you are making an effort in other areas to meet people. And you meet people by going to places that you like, by saying hi to people, being approachable, saying yes to that night out, even if you don't want to sometimes. Like, the friend of a friend might know somebody, or you never know who you're going to meet. So if you feel ever drawn to go somewhere, I've had things where I'm like, I feel like I should go to this for some reason, go. It's going to take you like forcing yourself to like go out sometimes and like put yourself out there. It's the only way. Otherwise, no one's gonna appear in your apartment or in your room or whatever. There's no like abracadabra genie in a bottle. You can't like pray on it. Like, yeah, you can pray to meet somebody new, but like, you can't just wish for it and it's gonna happen. You also have to put in the work. So like, yeah, you can pray to God that he sends you a tall, dark, and handsome husband, but like, it's not gonna appear at your door in a basket. You have to then go outside. That'd be nice though. One could just appear at my door. What goals do I have for the rest of the year? Now that I've kind of like niched down my content more and kind of like coming into my own, like there's specific brands that I really want to work with. Like, I would love to work with a yoga brand this year, like Manduka. Like, I think that would be a really that's a goal of mine, is to work with like a brand like that, to do my retreat, which I'm doing, and it's sold out. Both weekends are sold out. So thank you guys. I'm so excited for Costa Rica. Lots of events for 365. So we still have those coming up. Traveling, like, I need to like get back out there with like traveling, and like bringing my yoga practice other places. Like, I'm gonna really make an effort to like reach out to like resorts and try to find cool opportunities where it's like I can go teach in, I don't know, Morocco, like, who knows, like, go across the country, teach yoga, do events in different places, like lots of community events. I love that stuff. So that's definitely on my radar. I'm getting my 300 hour. That's next year, but I did sign up for that. That was definitely a goal of mine for like to deepen my practice. In terms of like just a shallow goal, I guess you could say, I want to be able to do a split like this way. I don't know if my hips will ever open that way again, because I can do long ways, but I want to do like a sideways split. So I'm working on that. My goals are just to be like healthy, happy, and I feel like I'm at a really good place in life with like friends and like knowing myself and making sure I'm only surrounding myself with like good people. I feel like there's nobody in my life who like I'm not obsessed with, who I don't love, who's not like supporting me or lifting me up. So I feel like my goals are just to maintain that and to keep with that, and more events, working with more like wellness brands, and my retreat was a major goal. So the fact that I already have that crossed off and that's already underway and it's sold out is like, I'm doing it. How do you find yourself dealing with days where you can't seem to feel good? So like that was like literally me all last week. I took time to disconnect a little bit, and I wasn't really like using social media as much. Like, I wasn't posting as much. I kind of was just taking care of myself and really just leaning on the people who I felt like I could lean on, and maintaining my routine as much as possible. Always coming back to like my routine and my roots and what makes me happy is key for me. And for me, it's like movement, like moving your body. For me, yoga, eating healthy. Like, I think a lot of times when we aren't feeling good and we having that bad body image and we have really negative thoughts and we're beating ourselves up, the first thing to do is like, you know, you're like, oh, well, I don't really care because like I just need like a ice cream right now, or I just need chips, or I just need to like rot on my couch. And it's like, that's because that's really easy and low energy things. And believe me, I'm subject to that. Like this past week I did have not like I had like really bad body image, and I think it was because I was so thrown off my routine where I wasn't moving my body as much, and then I was feeling down and I wasn't like going out as much, like in terms of like literally just being outside, and I was getting in my head, and then when I'm in my head I'm in my own little bubble and I start to forget that like a whole world exists out there and like there is light at the end of the tunnel. And then when you're not feeling good, you do just want to sit around, and then you do just want, it's like this negative cycle. So I think you need to like break that cycle with something. And a lot of the times for me, that's just like going outside, calling a friend, taking a breath of fresh air, reading a book. Like, don't just doom scroll. You have to kind of like you literally have to force yourself out of it. So like on those days that you don't seem to feel good, like have a talk with yourself. Last week I brought myself to the beach and I journaled. I hadn't journaled in a while, and I was like, you need to get this shit out of your head and stop like ruminating on it and get on with your life. Get a little sun in you, get a little water in you, journal about it, and then go to class, show up for yourself, put a little makeup on, spruce yourself up, pick yourself up, get off the couch, get off the internet, and just, you know, life goes on. Like sometimes you have to like, I have to give myself tough love. I don't know how you are, but with myself, I'm like, life goes on, Nicole, get it together. Okay. Because there's people who are in way worse positions than you. Like, I think expressing gratitude, having perspective is so important. And that's like, what am I really complaining about? What am I really upset about? Come on. Like, my life is pretty good. My life is really, really good, actually. And I'm so blessed. And yeah, like, it's not to downplay my emotions, but it's like, I don't want to look back at this time one day when I'm like 80 and being like, wow, Nicole, like, what are you doing? Like, why did you care? People would kill to be in my position. And someone would kill to be in your position too. And someone would, you know, I just think on those days I'm not feeling good, I really just like, I let myself feel the things, I let it all out. But then you have to move on. You have to just force yourself to pop that bubble. And somebody asked about like body image and like tips for self-image, positivity when feeling negative, and how do you control binge eating when you're bored, tips for taking a hold on your mindset. So like, I'll just share, like, I used to have a eating disorder, and I've had binge eating disorder. I've been bulimic. I've been anorexic, and I've really had a tumultuous relationship with food. I think I'll always have an eating disorder. Like, I'll always have some food noise. I have my moments and days where, on the days where I wake up and I just feel fat, and I feel fat. That's the point, is I feel fat. I'm not, you know, it's like my mind playing tricks on me. And I know that I also have body dysmorphia. You kind of have to push those things aside sometimes and not believe what your brain wants to tell you. And I have days where also when I'm stressed, it manifests, or if I'm sad, it manifests in a way where it's like, oh, I want to overeat. Like, I have these cravings. They're like mental cravings that turn into like physical cravings because I think I can like fill that void with food. I haven't had that in a really long time. I will say this week, when I was like down bad this last week, and I also was having my period, like I really like wanted to like overeat. And I did. I like, and my binges look a lot, I wouldn't even call them binges. I've had one in the last, which was, I wouldn't even call this a binge, honestly, because I feel like I was fully like in control and I understood what was happening. I just like wanted to eat, but it was like, because I was feeling like so kind of negative and like down, that I was like, and I was just like, oh, I just want to like eat like more food. I'm sharing this because I want you to know that healing and none of this stuff is linear, and what you see online sometimes isn't like the full picture of what's going on with people. This was the first time in a while where I felt like, oh, I want to overeat, and it's nowhere near how I used to. It's like I get so full now, and I listen to that, and like when I'm full, like I don't keep going like so much, where I used to like get to a point where I was so physically sick, where like my only option was to throw up, or else like I wouldn't survive. And then the next day I'd be like, okay, I can't eat tomorrow. It's not like that anymore. I overate a little bit. I felt full and I was like, oh, I'm never doing that again. I had like a few extra sweet treats or a few extra bites of things. And I think it's completely normal. Like, I think like we're human and you have to just know that. And I also shift my mindset now where I'm like, how lucky I am to be sitting here with like a problem where it's like I have too much food, where it's like I ate too much. There are people who will never know that feeling of like that. And I think like you have to just give yourself grace. And when you shift your perspective of like, wow, like there's people out there who like wish they could get full. It's kind of like, I'm kind of not even going to beat myself up about it or be mad about it. Like, life goes on. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and it's a new day and I'm going to move on with my life. And I think I've gotten really a lot better at pushing past that of like not beating myself up. I think you need to like exercise forgiving yourself and giving yourself grace. And that's kind of like where I'm at and why I don't like feel the need to really get so upset about it or overdo it or make it a thing. Like, it's not a thing anymore, I don't put so much emphasis on it. I'm like, okay, big deal. I ate a few extra pieces. I got a little extra full. It's really not going to change anything. Like, I have that perspective now too. Like, of one day of like eating a few extra calories isn't going to change anything. My body doesn't know any different. Like, it's okay. If you keep doing it, that's different. That's a problem. But like, if you keep doing it, yeah, it will add up. And in that sense, like, I think like talk to people about it, get professional help. But I'm not at that point. I don't need that. But like, on those days where like I'm having a bad body image day or I'm overate or I was mean to myself or whatever, I give myself grace. I love myself. Like, I shift my perspective. I turn it to gratitude and I turn it into like a learning lesson and I turn it into just like something positive. And that's how I kind of get past it. It's like, this is one day out of my entire life. And then I try to think like, well, what do you need, Nicole? Like, sometimes when I catch myself and feeling like, oh, I do want to overeat, I try to like slow down for a minute. Get yourself out of the kitchen too, by the way. Don't like let yourself stand in the kitchen. If you know that you binge on like, I know we all binge on certain things, maybe that triggers you. Like, for me, it was like nuts, like chips, like that stuff. Like, I don't really keep that in the house because I know it could trigger me. And that's just what works for me. But also like in those moments where I'm like, okay, I want to go overeat and I can't stop thinking about this food. I'm just kind of like, well, what is it that I'm feeling right now? Like, is this anxiety? Is this manifesting in a different way? Why am I anxious? What do I really need? Is that ice cream bar going to fix things? Sometimes the answer is yes. Then that's just, I want an ice cream bar. But if it's like, no, then I'm like, okay, like, are you really hungry? And then I'm like, if I'm really hungry right now, one, have I drank enough water? Two, would I eat, a sandwich? I tend to more so binge on like sweet things than savory. So I'm just kind of like, would I eat a savory thing right now? And that's how I kind of like do it too. And if the answer is no, then I'm probably just not hungry and I'm just like eating to eat. So yeah, but just taking yourself like out of the situation too, though, and calling a friend or going on a walk, like physically remove yourself. Don't sit in the kitchen. Don't allow yourself to like eat in bed and out of like a massive container of food where you can't really like see how much you're eating too. I'm not saying count, but it's like, help yourself out. I'm not like eating from the family size bag of popcorn because I will eat the whole thing. What is the biggest thing you've changed in the past year to elevate yourself in life? Probably not drinking. That was a massive change for me, guys. I'm 1 year sober. Can you believe? That was such a big shift for me. And it's not that I drank that much, but I do think that it changed me in terms of like my confidence and just getting a grip on my life. It's like, I don't have time to be hungover. I don't have any excuses anymore. And I'm in full responsibility of my actions. So there's no more drunk texting. There's no more decisions I'm making not in the right mind. I'm making every decision in a sound mind. So yeah, that was like a huge one for me. I think also like, God, there's so many changes this year, like starting to go to church, like that, reconnecting with God, building a relationship with God, that totally elevated my life. and who I am and how I show up and my perspective of things and my happiness. And it bled into every aspect of like how I treat myself, how I go about my life and everything. Alcohol and God, both those things like completely shifted how I show up for myself and the people around me. So that's huge. Those are two big changes, going to church and not drinking. Okay, real talk. How are we girls doing laser hair removal living in Miami? Honestly, like I gotta go back for a touch up, but you're getting lasered on like your coochie, right? So it's like that area is usually kind of covered by your bathing suit anyways. So it's like just the sides that you have to worry about. So when I was getting it done, I would just like put a towel over me or wear like really high SPF, but like it wasn't that serious. I just would make sure not to get sunburn and not to expose myself to okay, T's like hitting the mic with her tail. Just not expose myself to the sun too close to an appointment. But yeah. How are you and Caitlin? How did you and Caitlin become friends? I've known Caitlin since she's from my hometown, so we've known each other for our whole lives. What's inspired my learning streak lately to further my yoga and Pilates teacher training? I think just curiosity. I think just wanting to give back. I feel like I really found myself through yoga and wanting to give that to my people and wanting to be educated so I can keep teaching you guys. I think down the future I see myself doing teacher trainings, so I have to continue to educate myself so that I can teach you guys. And that's been a huge inspiration for me, is like wanting to know more, because the more I know, the more confident I am, and then the more impact I can have on you guys. I want to be confident in like what I'm talking about and what I'm doing. What's your relationship with money and finances? Do you have or planning any investments? I like invested in like stuff in the while back, like Bitcoin and crypto. Like I got into that whole thing when I moved to Miami, because I also like lived with boys who were like, that's all they talked about and did. I'm not really good with like the investments thing. I think like my relationship with money though is super healthy in terms where I don't put too much emphasis on it. I understand money is important. I've always worked hard for my money. I don't ask my parents for anything. My parents haven't given me anything for a while. I was lucky enough to grow up in a upper middle class family where like I always had everything I needed. We had a really nice big house. We had all the cars and the horses and the farm. Like I was really blessed. I never longed for anything. There was nothing that I felt like I couldn't ever ask for, or anything I was really deprived from. But my parents also didn't spoil me so much. Well, maybe they did. But as soon as I was like of age and like I had a job when I was 16, I always worked really hard. And I've always worked hard in terms of like I started doing martial arts when I was 3 years old, and that really instilled this mindset in me to like work hard. Nothing ever was handed to me. I'm a really dedicated person. So whatever I do to my fullest potential. And I think you guys see that in terms of like my content, like how consistent I am, my working out, everything. Like I'm a very consistent routine person. And I just know like wherever you are when you are happiness, whatever you throw your passion into, money will follow it. And money, just I don't try to put too much emphasis on it, because there's been times where like I need more money coming in and it's not. But I don't ever think, I never have a scarcity mindset of it and being like, oh, it's not gonna come. I think money is like a boomerang, and it'll always follow you if you are doing the things that you love and you're always giving. I think you need to give to receive. And in this season, I think like teaching my classes, doing the community events, like that's me giving, and I'm going to continue to give as much as I can to keep receiving. And it's like, yeah, like I think my passion is yoga, and I followed that, and hosting these retreats, like that is the fact that that sold out, like that's crazy. And it's just something that I love. So I have a really healthy relationship with money. I don't feel the need to ever hold on too tightly to it, but I'm smart with it. I don't ever like spend more than I feel comfortable with. There's times where I've invested in things in myself where I'm like, that was expensive. That's a big thing, but I know it'll get me to like, I remember when I invested in my yoga teacher training, I feel like it was a tight month of money that month, but I was like, F it, like I'm just gonna do it and I'll figure it out. And I did. And like when I was younger, I was always like getting apartments that I could like just barely afford, but I was like, great, I'll just work harder. Like that was always my mindset of like, I can have anything I want, you just have to work for it. So that's kind of like how I am. Somebody said, how did you stop drinking or smoking if you ever did? I know it's bad for me, but I still did. I never really smoked. I smoked like a few times in like, I don't know, high school, but like weed does not sit right with me. So I never really did that. Drinking, like I said, like I never had a problem with it. So I think if it's like something really hard for you to do, like you need to get professional help. I don't know. I just quit drinking one day and that was it, because I was like, this isn't improving my life. I don't want it anymore. And it was really simple, black and white for me. And then once you stop, you kind of just like stop craving it or needing it and relying on it. And I'm also somebody who likes to challenge myself. I randomly will be like, let me see if I can like do this. And I think like I quit alcohol because I was like, well, let's just see what happens. And I just kind of kept running with it. And I think like the less pressure, again, you put on these things, the easier. It's like the less that you're like as soon as you start to restrict yourself, like you can't have bread. You want bread every day. I didn't restrict myself. I was just kind of like, let's see where this takes me. Like, let me just keep saying no. And it took like a couple times saying no to like intentionally say no to then where it became a habit, and then became like a mindless habit where it's like, just like how every day I go to practice yoga, it's not a question anymore. And same with alcohol. It's not a question anymore. I go to even restaurants, places now. It's like, I don't even look at the menu anymore for cocktails. It's not even on my mind. I'm just like, oh, do you have a mocktail? Like, it's my habit now. So I think like you just have to kind of start and form a habit and stick with it. It's going to have to be intentional at first, but it'll soon become your new normal. How do you support a close friend that's in a toxic relationship? The best thing that you can do is just be there for that person and know that you are somebody who is a safe space for them. If it's something that's affecting you, set your boundaries. Hey, I can't support this. Like, I've said my piece with it. I'm always here if you need somebody to like lean on, but like for these reasons, like I kind of need to like step out, or for these reasons, like I can't have you talk to me about this person. Like, you have to set the boundary, of course. But I think like my friends who are in toxic relationships, I've said my piece, and then if they would keep coming to me saying the same things, I would let them just talk, but I wouldn't waste my energy or time anymore giving my opinion. I would just be a safe space for them, and I'm there, and I'm just like, hey, like, people gotta live their life. I could tell you not to put your hand in the fire, but you have to put the hand in the fire sometimes to find out. And I think like I've been in my fair share of toxic relationships. I've been in my fair share of things that I shouldn't be in. And my friends would always say, hey, like, this is how we see it. That's not good. This X, Y, and Z, or, he's lying, or he's this or that. And I would be like, I choose to believe him, or I choose to continue down this path until I figure it out for myself. And I'm so grateful for my friends who, would say their piece with me, keep it real with me. And then who were also just there for me when I was ready to step away from those things. So I think just tell that person like, hey, I'm always here for you to support you, but like, this is how I feel, and I need to stop, giving my opinion, or like, I'm always here to listen, but like, I feel like I just kind of have to let you do your thing because you never take my advice, and whatever. So that's kind of the best way to navigate that. But yeah, I think that's it. I think that's good for today. This is already a really long episode. I love you guys. Make sure you are following me on Instagram, Nicole Doyan. Follow 365. We have an event that we're posting about tomorrow. If you're coming on my retreat, I can't wait to meet you. If you want to come on the next one, stay tuned. Again, make sure you're following me. I don't have any plans for that one yet, but there's definitely going to be more. And yeah, I'm so grateful for you guys. I love you guys so much, and we will chat very soon. Bye.